Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, I have covered up all the type of questions related to multiplexers that have come in the competitive exams. It includes the simple, the difficult and all types of questions that are possible from this topic. So watch this video till the end so that you do not miss out any question. We have the first question that the propagation delay of the XOR and the multiplexer is given to us as 4, and we have 2 for the AND gates and 1 for the multiplexers. We have to determine that if all the inputs P, Q, R, S, T are applied simultaneously, then what is the maximum propagation delay for the circuit? And you are given certain option. Let us see how we find out the question. If you notice, then in this case, we have the T input is supplied as the select line. So there can be two cases that either the T value can be 0 or it can be 1. And this is important from the functionality of the multiplexer. So we know that if T is equal to 0, then in this case, for both the multiplexer, the 0th input will be selected. If you look at the final multiplexer, which is giving you the main output, in this case, the 0th input which will be passed to the output whenever T is 0 is actually dependent only on the AND gate, and that AND gate has a propagation delay of 2. So we have 2 plus 1 nanosecond for the multiplexer, and hence in the case when T is equal to 0, Y will take 3 nanoseconds to give you the output. Because in this case we don't need to look at what is happening with the input 1, because we know that when the select line is 0, all the 0th inputs will be selected. Now let's see at the second case when T is equal to 1. Now in this case we have all the inputs that are present at the 1 input of your multiplexer will be passed to the output, that is Y. So we know that to determine that what is at this point, we need to go back in the circuit and we need this particular output. So we know that this output is again dependent on whatever is coming at this input, that is for the multiplexer. Now this is depending on the AND gate, hence you will add 2 nanosecond for the AND gate, 1 for this multiplexer. So the output at this particular end will be available to you at 3 nanosecond. 3 plus 2 will be equal to 5. So this output will be available at 5 nanosecond. And now another 1 nanosecond will be taken by the multiplexer. So when T is equal to 1, the output will be present at 6 nanosecond. The higher amount among these two is 6, and hence it is asking you the maximum propagation delay. So your answer is C, that is 6 nanosecond. Let's move to the next question. In this question, you are given a multiplexer network and you are asked to find out the output. Now this is as simple as that. We just need to have the expression. F is equal to P bar Q bar dot with I naught, which is equal to R. So you have R over here plus P bar Q dot with 0 plus PQ bar dot with R plus PQ with 1. Now this gives you P bar Q bar R. The second term reduces to 0. We have PQ bar R plus PQ. We can take Q bar R common from these two terms. So we have P bar plus P plus PQ. Now this gives you Q bar R plus PQ. That's it. We cannot reduce this further. So the answer is the first option, that is PQ plus Q bar R. Let's move to the next question. In this question, you are given two multiplexers and we have to determine the final output, that is F. So let us see how we do this. In order to find out the output for this multiplexer, first we need to solve that what is coming at this point. So for doing that, let's work out for this mux first. The select lines are U and V. So for the first multiplexer, the output will be equal to U bar V bar dot with I naught. If you observe, I naught is 0 because it is connected to ground. I1 and I2 is 1 as it is connected to VCC, that is the power supply, and again I3 is 0. So we have U bar V bar dot with 0 plus U bar V dot with 1 plus UV bar dot with 1 plus UV dot with 0. So this is left out as U bar V plus UV bar. So at this point we have U bar V plus UV bar. Now let's work for the main multiplexer, that is F. So for this output F, we have F is equal to W bar X bar dot with I naught. I naught has actually the output of the first one connected to it. So we have W bar X bar, and the same thing is connected to the next input also. So we can write plus W bar X, and both these things can be U bar V plus UV bar. If you notice, I2 and I3 both are 0. So there is no need of writing the next terms because we know that they are multiplied with 0. So they will be 0 only. So let's solve this expression. We have now F equal to W bar X bar plus W bar X with U bar V plus UV bar. So we open the brackets. We see we can take W bar common from these two terms. So you have X bar plus X, and over here you have U bar V plus UV bar. So this becomes W bar with U bar V plus UV bar W bar. So hence your answer is, if you see, the option number C, W bar with UV bar plus U bar V. Now let's see the next question. This is a repeated question that we have just solved. Only thing that is changing is this variables. That's it. We just solved it. All the rest of the things are the same. So the output will be, instead of W we have Y. So this is Y bar, and instead of U and V we have W and X. So W bar X plus WX bar. So hence the answer is C. Let's move to the next question. Again we have to find out the output, that is F, and you have again two multiplexers given to you. So first we will solve for the multiplexer number 1. We know that this output will be equal to X bar dot with Y plus X dot with 0. So this is equal to X bar Y. Now this X bar Y is given as input to the second multiplexer. So if we write down the output for F, it will be Z bar dot with X bar Y plus Z dot with X bar Y whole bar, because we have a NOT gate. So now we just need to expand this. F is equal to Z bar X bar Y plus Z with X plus Y bar. So we open it using the De Morgan's law. We have Z bar X bar Y plus ZX plus ZY bar. So hence the answer to this question is B. Let's move to the next question. Now in this case it says that a 4x1 multiplexer is to be used for generating the output carry of a full adder. A and B are the bits to be added, while C in is the carry and C out is the carry out. So A and B are used as the select bits, with A being the most significant bit. So we are given everything about it and we need to find out the expression for C out. For doing this question, first of all you should know that what is the carry output for a full adder. So for a full adder, the carry is actually expressed as sigma m of 3, 5, 6 and 7. We know this actually, and based on this information we just have to implement this function using a 4x1 mux, and given that A and B are the select lines and obviously C is the input. So we will draw the network. For knowing that how we solve this, you can watch my video. The link is given in the description box. So we have I0, I1, I2 and I3. So C is used as the input, it is C bar and C, and the numbers will be written as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now we just need to circle the terms that are here. We have 3, 5, 6 and 7. We write down the answers because none of them is term. This is 0, this is C, C and this is 1. So your answer is 0CC1. So this is what you need to search. So I0 should be 0, I1 should be C, I2 should be C and I3 should be 1. So the answer to this question is A. Coming to the next question, we have for the circuit shown in the figure, the delays of the NOR gate, multiplexers and the inverters are 2 nanoseconds for the NOR gate, 1.5 for each of the multiplexer, and we have 1 nanosecond for the NOT gates. We have to determine that what is the maximum propagation delay for the circuit. So again we need to consider that what will happen when t will be equal to 0 and what will happen when t will be equal to 1. So when t is equal to 0, we have for this first multiplexer, this 0th output will be selected, and for the next multiplexer you will have the 1 output to be selected because we are having an inverter in between, so t will become 1 for the second one. So when 0 is selected, we know that the output of this multiplexer will be dependent on the propagation delay of this NOR gate. And to determine the final propagation delay for y, we need to know that after how much time do we get this input, which is coming to the terminal, that is one of the multiplexer. So let's evaluate that. We have 2 nanoseconds for the NOR gate plus 1.5 for the multiplexer. So you have 3.5 nanosecond. So after 3.5 nanosecond, this output appears. Now you can also see that there is a delay of 1 nanosecond from t becoming 0 to 1. But that 1 nanosecond is easily covered between this time of 3.5. Hence, it will not affect your answer, and so you don't need to consider this 1 nanosecond. You have 3.5 plus another 1.5 for the second multiplexer. So you have total of 5 nanosecond. When t is equal to 1, now the case will change. For this multiplexer, this output is selected, and for the second one, this will be selected. So we need to know that when the two inputs of this NOR gate are appearing. For knowing the second input to this NOR gate, you need to calculate the delay which is occurring during the first multiplexer. So we have 1 nanosecond for the NOT gate plus 1.5 for the multiplexer. So this becomes 2.5. So this output is coming after a delay of 2.5. Again, this t becoming from 1 to 0 is happening in 1 nanosecond, which is within the limit of the time, that is 2.5. So we need not consider this. So when we have the 0 time, you have final output y appears at 2.5 plus 2 plus 1.5. So this will make it equal to 6 nanosecond. And hence again you have the maximum time among these two is 6. So the answer to this question is 6 nanosecond. Let's move to the next question. We are given a logical function and we have to implement the output. So you can see clearly that this is 0 and it becomes inverted, so it becomes 1. Again inverted becomes 0. So we can interpret that what inputs we are getting at each of the input for the multiplexer. This is what you are getting. And now you can quickly find out the answer. F is equal to, we need not write the first and the last term because they are all zeros. So we'll just write P bar Q dot with 1 plus P Q bar dot with 1. This is equal to P bar Q plus P Q bar, which is actually P XOR with Q. So your answer is D, P XOR with Q. Let's come to the next question. The Boolean function realized by the multiplexer network given. Again, we have to interpret the output, that is F. So we can see that F is equal to, we'll write down A bar B bar with C plus A bar B with the D plus AB bar with, this is actually C bar, and this output is C bar D bar. So you have AB bar C bar plus AB C bar D bar. Now this is what we are getting, but in the options we are given some SOP forms. So we need to convert this expression to the canonical form in order to get to the SOP expression. To get to the canonical form, we need to fill out the missing terms. So we have A bar, B bar, C, D plus D bar. And in this term you can see C is missing, so C plus C bar. In this term again D is missing, so you have D plus D bar, and in this term all the variables are there. We just expand the brackets. A bar, B bar, C, D bar plus A bar, B bar, C, D plus A bar, B, C bar, D plus A bar, B, C, D plus A, B bar, C bar, D bar plus A, B bar, C bar, D and plus A, B, C bar, D bar. Now we need to write down that what are the terms. So we know that bar is equal to 0. So we can just quickly write down these in order to interpret that what are the min terms. So bar is equal to 0 and the variable is 1. So 0 triple 1, this is 1 triple 0, this is 1 double 0 1, this is 1 1 0 0. If you interpret the decimal numbers for this, this is 2, 3, this is 5, 7, 8, 9 and 12. So we have sigma m of 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9 and 12. Now see, it matches to the option number D. 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9 and 12. In this way, you can solve any particular question based on multiplexer. If you like this video, hit the like button below, share it with your friends and be sure to subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.